This is a quick video demonstration on how to play Rosetta, a new concept in tile placing games. Rosetta can be played between 2 and 4 players and for ages 8 and up. And the usual time it takes to play a game is between 20 and 30 minutes. Setting up to play. Begin by turning all white tiles face down and mixing them into a pile to the side of the playing area. Each player then receives 7 coloured tiles in their chosen colour. Each player then draws 2 tiles from the pile. Players should keep these tiles hidden from their opponent, but for the sake of the demonstration, we will reveal them. 3 tiles are then drawn at random from the pile and placed face up in the centre of the play area. Ensure that none of the placed tiles are repeated. Placing coloured tiles to start the game. Youngest player begins by placing any one of his 7 coloured tiles beside any white tiles on the table. I'm the youngest. Okay, go already. Placing coloured tiles to start the game. In a clockwise order, each player then places one of his coloured tiles next to a white tile. Once all players have placed one coloured tile, the game is now ready to start. The object of the game. The object of the game is to make rosettas by encircling your coloured tiles with 6 white tiles. When a player manages to encircle one of their coloured tiles with 6 white tiles, this is known as completing a rosetta. A player will score points for every rosetta they complete before the game ends. However, in order to score maximum points for each rosetta, players must not repeat any of the numbers making up the rosetta, including the center number. Each rosetta is worth 7 points. If a number is repeated, the rosetta is said to be spoilt and is known as an impure rosetta. Points will be deducted for every repeated number from 7. In this example, the 2s are repeated, and the 5s are repeated. Therefore, 7 minus 2 minus 2 equals a total of 3 points for this rosetta. If a player avoids repeating any of the numbers making up a rosetta, it is called a pure rosetta and will score 10 points. 7 points plus 3 bonus points. Rules for placing tiles. There is one rule for placing white tiles, and there are 2 rules for placing coloured tiles. Rule for placing white tiles. The only rule for placing white tiles is that a player can only place his white tiles next to his own coloured tiles. For example, green player may place his white tiles around the green tile. Green player cannot place his white tiles away from his green tile. Note that a player may place a white tile next to another player's coloured tile as long as it is touching his own coloured tile at the same time. As play continues, players' rosettas will share white tiles. Hopefully, you will share ones that will not repeat any of your other tiles making up a rosetta. Rules for placing coloured tiles. There are two rules for placing coloured tiles. 1. A coloured tile must be placed next to a white tile. 2. A coloured tile cannot be placed next to another coloured tile. For example, green player can place his green tile in these positions. However, he cannot place a green tile in these positions, next to the orange coloured tile, or next to his own green coloured tile. Enough talk, let's play! Youngest player starts by placing either a coloured tile or a white tile. When a player places a white tile, they must draw another white tile from the pile. In this way, a player will always have two white tiles to play with. Good move. Green player is placing orange player under pressure by placing her coloured tile within one shared space of orange player's Rosetta. Note that a player does not draw a tile from the pile after placing a coloured tile. If orange player does not defend his Rosetta, green player could spoil it by placing a 1, a 3, or a 5. Can orange player defend his Rosetta? Yes, I can. Very good. Orange player has managed to defend the space in order not to repeat any numbers in his Rosetta. Rule. A player may choose to relocate a coloured tile from one position to another. Note that white tiles cannot be relocated. Can orange player defend his Rosetta again? Hey, you can't do that. Rule. A player cannot place a tile that would deliberately spoil their own Rosetta. Although by placing a 4, green player has completed orange player's Rosetta around his number 3 tile, green player has spoilt orange player's Rosetta. Orange player's Rosetta will now only be worth 5 points. Note that in completing a Rosetta, green player gets to play again. The rule here is that whenever a player completes a Rosetta, either her own or another player's, they get to play again. And so play continues, with players trying to defend their budding Rosettas while taking opportunities to put pressure on their opponents. But be careful, a rose has thorns and it's known to draw blood in order to defend itself. The game will continue to expand until either a player encircles all his or her coloured tiles or all the white tiles are used up. And so that is how you play Rosetta.